What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. Now, AEW's third pay-per-view Full Gear is over and there's lots of news to report, so let's jump right in. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at your latest wrestling news, including lots of trash talking from AEW's Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Is AEW monitoring NXT? 2 AEW wrestlers are not medically cleared to compete? And a WWE superstar almost quit after SummerSlam. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Well, let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as the Inner Circle's talking smack. Fresh on the heels of his big win over Cody at Full Gear, AEW World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho had some fun with the Wednesday Night War. Speaking at AEW's post-event media scrum, Le Champion quipped, "Am I surprised we're winning? Of course I knew we'd win. Our star power crushes NXT star power, and exactly what I knew would happen, that NXT before was cool as a standalone thing, and now it's just another WWE show. It's like 2009 ECW. So good for them. God bless them. I'm sure at some point Roman Reigns will be on NXT now and Hulk Hogan will return to a TV studio for the first time since 1991 in Memphis. That's fine. All we're going to continue to do is worry about ourselves and concentrate on our storylines and our matches and our characters and building stars." The man who's known to enjoy a bit of the bubbly also discussed AEW's position on the war between NXT and Dynamite. "Once again, this is not a war that we started. This is not a war that we asked for, but we don't care who you put against us. You could put the Super Bowl, you could put the World Cup, you could resurrect John and George and do a Beatles reunion. We can't control them. All we can do is continue to do great shows and organic shows. This is not prefabricated. This is not scripts being written and approvals being made and all this other stuff. I think that's kind of showing in AEW's product. I think that's why the segments and the promos and the backstage fights and stuff have been amazing, because it's real." Jericho's Inner Circle teammate Jake Hager had some advice for WWE's Rusev, who recently took to Twitter to defend the Lashley-Lana Rusev love triangle storyline. The Bellator star tweeted, "Leave her and that asshole company." But is AEW monitoring NXT? An interesting question that came up was whether Tony Khan watches NXT and whether the shows affect Dynamite's booking. Khan responded, "We've never once changed a thing that we're doing. We just wanted to do the best show we can do because of limitations. You know, we have 2 hours to please our fans and our advertisers. You have to please them both, and you want to keep the show going for the sake of everyone." When Khan was shown a picture of the AEW production truck with the USA Network on one of the monitors, AEW's president responded, "That's not I don't know what they're watching in that truck. I'm just talking about the gorilla position where I'm at. We don't even have a TV that would have cable on it. We just have a feed of our own show, and I have like the 8 to 10 cameras we chose to go from. So I don't know, I think sometimes they have like football on in the truck, so I don't know, like when stuff's going on during the day. As for what they're watching during the show, I can't be there and be in gorilla position, so I can't do both." But what do you guys think? Are they keeping a close eye on NXT? But it looks like they're going to get under the collar of WWE once again, as they are considering running a show in MSG. While Madison Square Garden has traditionally been a WWE haven for decades, the promotion hasn't run many shows there lately, leading to other promotions gaining access to the Garden, something once unthinkable. During the Full Gear media scrum, Tony Khan was asked whether AEW would ever run a show at the mecca of professional wrestling. "MSG is certainly a building we've had talks with, and I'd love to run a show in New York. Certainly we've been really popular in New York. We've been the #1 wrestling show in the 18 to 49 in New York City on any night, not just on Wednesday on cable. So that's pretty great, and for me, I would love to go to New York, and MSG is obviously a great building there. But there are a lot of good buildings in New York." But getting back to the Inner Circle, there could be new members on the way. The Inner Circle's winning ways are likely making membership an attractive option for some of AEW's heels, and based on Inner Circle leader Chris Jericho's comments after Full Gear, the heel faction may have some new additions. When asked whether MJF, who betrayed Cody at Full Gear, might join, Jericho responded, "There's always room for more as long as they're good as the guys in my Inner Circle." MJF would be a probable candidate, possible candidate whether tonight happened or not. We're always looking for good members. Like I said, we're taking over AEW. Sounds a bit NWO if you ask us. But while MJF seems like a good candidate, Jericho also mentioned the possibility of women joining the group. Well, I mean, there are a lot of great ones. You've seen Nyla Rose just beating the crap out of everybody. I love Jamie Hayter. We saw her last week for the first or second time. I think she's tremendous as well. There's quite a few. Bea Priestley's a little bit vicious. To be a member of the inner circle, it's not something we choose or control, it just happens organically. That's how we started this group. It was my vision to bring 5 killers, street thugs, ruffians, and if there's a woman out there that's as dirty and mean as Santana and Ortiz, as sexy as Sammy Guevara, it's not possible, and as tough as Jake Hager and a genius as Le Champion, then we'll bring her in. With any luck, the inner circle won't fall into the same trap as the NWO did, going from an elite group of wrestlers to a mob scene filled with B-listers no one cared about. But whilst we're still on the subject of AEW, 2 AEW wrestlers are not medically cleared to compete. Cody Rhodes took a sick bump at Full Gear, diving out of the ring at Chris Jericho, only to miss and strike the metal entrance ramp with his head. While a ringside doctor cleared Rhodes to continue the match, he did not escape uninjured. AEW tweeted an update on Cody's condition: 8 stitches and a costochondral separation. He is not cleared for in-ring action at this time. According to a report at Wrestling Inc., Cody's mom, a retired nurse, stitched him up. For those wondering, a costochondral separation is defined by website Sports Injury Clinic as a costochondral separation, sometimes known as a rib separation, usually occurs after a direct impact to the chest. One or more ribs become separated from the costochondral joint, made from cartilage, which is also attached to the breastbone. The area will be very painful, especially when breathing deeply, and it can take several months to fully recover. Another superstar who went through a hellacious battle, and that's putting it lightly, was Kenny Omega, who was defeated by Jon Moxley in an unsanctioned lights out match. Well, Omega certainly had his lights taken out when his head smacked the exposed wooden part of the ring. Whilst it's not been confirmed he suffered a concussion as a result, he tweeted, "I lost and doctors won't clear me for television. The problem is that you left me alive and I'll be back. I win." No Omega, you really didn't win. But it's safe to say a rematch is definitely down the line. But now let's move on to some WWE news, as there's been a big Survivor Series announcement on Raw. Although Raw has already been taped, the WWE apparently had a few surprises in for fans who tune in on Monday. According to a tweet from WWE on Fox, tomorrow on Raw, the full men's Team Raw at Survivor Series captained by Seth Rollins will be revealed, who will join the Beast Slayer on the Red Brand's team. The WWE is wise in teasing some big news on Raw, giving fans who might think they know everything that's going to happen an incentive to tune in. Naturally, the WWE needs more than one announcement to intrigue fans. Next up, an update on Big Cass. Fans wondering how former WWE superstar Big Cass is doing can take some comfort knowing that he's working on battling his addictions. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda's Gary Cassidy, Diamond Dallas Page revealed, "I know he's in rehab right now and he's getting a lot of really good help. He's a really smart guy. He's dealing with depression and all that, and he's got to get to a point where Jake is at. At least he's not waiting until his late 50s. He's doing it in his early 30s. He still has a brilliant career ahead of him, if he can stay sober, which I believe he has the ability. The WWE are the ones who stepped up and took care of him. I talked to Johnny Ace, Triple H and Mark Carrano, and they're guys who made it happen. They got him into rehab. I told him I would help him when he got out, but he needs to go in right now. When you start getting blackouts, which is what happened to Cass, and when you're drinking, then you don't even know what happened. That is a scary thing, so it's got to go deeper than just positive training. It's a huge part of it, but you got to go deeper than that." While DDP can't help Big Cass in rehab, the 3-time WCW champion has helped fans send their well wishes to Big Cass. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been sending the letters to our boy Big Cass. Keep up the love and the support coming. Cass appreciates all you guys. You can still send your letters to him here. And our final story of today, Dolph Ziggler almost quit after SummerSlam. In the aftermath of this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view, you might recall various news reports of Dolph Ziggler wanting out of his WWE contract, but Vince McMahon reportedly refusing it. According to Bodyslam.net, Ziggler and McMahon had a quote-unquote handshake deal, and the deal would be that Ziggler would be able to leave after SummerSlam to pursue other projects. Well, there seems to be more to this story, as Dolph almost quit the company after hearing the original plans with his match with Goldberg. The original plan was to have Dolph be defeated within just a few seconds, rather than the 1 minute 50 seconds that went ahead. In an interview with TalkSport, Ziggler sat down with Alex McCarthy and explained that if they didn't change the match, he was out. "Okay, I'm here to do business and do special things," said Ziggler. "I'm not trying to be the fan. I found out what the business is, and I'm like, cool, this is the moment," and having that like, you're the guy to do this, to set the record straight and give this guy this fantastic match. I'm like, fantastic. Then they go, "It's gonna be a bell spear," and I go, come on. So I fought all day long, threatened to leave, do anything I can do. Give me 2 damn minutes. And I got a minute, whatever, what are you gonna do? We're not sure how Dolph didn't still see it as a major squash, but in his mind, a near 2-minute loss was something that turned him away from leaving. Ziggler always seems to be the superstar who cries wolf, as he's always upset with the way he's treated, but never really goes through with his threats. But there you have it guys, your wrestling news for the 10th November 2019. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.